Well, it's back. We thought it was gone forever, but it's back, baby. Taco Tuesday has returned. Woohoo! Who's going to be enjoying some tacos tonight? You either got the traditional beef tacos, or you can do some modifications, which I'm always a fan of. Do some shrimp tacos. Believe it or not, lobster tacos. I actually found a recipe for some lobster tacos. Can you believe that? Oh, and then you can just do a whole seafood. You can throw some crab in there, some shrimp, some lobster, or you can just, do some chicken, spicy chicken. So many different varieties. Happy Taco Tuesday to everyone. So today's episode 16 of our podcasting journey. And I'm actually trying something different today because if you've been tuning in for each consecutive pod, I've actually been doing a lot of upgrading, significantly amount of upgrading. Gonna probably get to a point where I'm actually gonna be rearranging my work office to entirely incorporate maybe not a green screen, but maybe some like background type stuff. However, I am making some changes that I think overall are good. Not to mention, I am absolutely exhausted. It's an early morning for me. I actually got a lot of sleep last night, but I've been battling eye fatigue. And something also that I've been battling over the years is kind of really audio issues. But then again, I mean, it's really one of those things where it's like, I don't really... It's if you are a long-time NightmareRH viewer, which if you are new around here, I love you just like I love any of my long-term viewers, medium-term viewers, or doesn't matter when you subscribe, you are part of the Hooba Hooba Mosh Pit. Please thumbs up this video, turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so, and definitely drop a like. It does help me with this algorithm. But otherwise, over the years, my videos have always been extremely popular that have just been really raw. Probably would do phenomenal on TikTok since there are a bunch of raw dogs there. But I actually was thinking about replacing this microphone. I got this microphone back in 2014. So it's about 10 years old. It's the Blue Yeti. Cost me $180, 2014. I bought it from Radio Shack. Radio Shack is now a bankrupt, obsolete company. I believe it was either Best Buy or Amazon that pretty much crushed them. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, this microphone has done wonders for me. I ended up buying this little condom like a couple months ago, but I've always noticed that I've always had like some audio issues. And I feel like a complete wee-womp. I didn't realize the power of this microphone. So I ended up buying a new webcam. It was on sale on Amazon, a new Logitech HD. I look absolutely amazing. You can actually see, my receding hairline a lot more. Oh no! Woo! I gotta grow some hair. Seriously, man, we gotta grow some hair. But anyways, I actually was contemplating about getting a new microphone, and I started to deep dive in, and apparently this Blue Yeti, this silver wiener, is actually like one of the best microphones out there. It kind of really shocked me. I just never knew how to utilize it properly. So hopefully by me holding it closer to my mouth, this audio sounds significantly better. And I already recorded a couple clips before, doing this one. And it does sound a lot clearer. I'm probably going to end up buying one of those things that I hang from the wall that kind of looks like... oh, man, I got to look this up. Hang on. I gotta put this down. Like, good thing... Good thing I'm not wearing gym shorts right now. I actually have a semi like sturdy cargo pants on, because this thing would definitely crush my woo. Actually, it's resting on my belt buckle right now. Okay, let me this is like the only, yeah, I got to get one of those things that hangs down from the wall. Hence, what do you call that? What did I just say? Hence, doing some office, modification. I am very active again on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat, if any of you guys use that. But there's one character, let's see. Toaster. It's anyone who has ever, here we go. Okay. If I do buy one of those things that I gotta, like, attach to my wall to get the microphone, you know, like, closer, for some reason, it reminds me of this dude. If you do not know what this is, shame on you. Like, I feel like every video gamer has seen this movie. Because I want to say, like, during this time frame, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of my bumhole, but the Brave Little Toaster, Lampy, if I install one of those, like, things where you put a microphone on and it hangs, you know, it free hangs and stuff, I'm gonna have to, like, put an image of Lampy on this, like, gigantic thing. Because I don't know what, my brain is really weird. I drank a lot of alcohol this past weekend, and I'm still recovering. So, yeah, I definitely have issues. Going through some alcohol withdrawals on Tuesday, even though I drank on Saturday. Oh, boy. Okay, so this podcast is going to be about Skillers. Obviously, you came here, you know, you're seeing the title. We're just doing daily updates and stuff like that. I really don't have any updates, but I will say that next week, things are going to be not so much earlier in the week. Later next week, the week after, pretty much all of October, really good stuff. I'll go ahead and do some hint dropping, but might incorporate a lot of live streaming here in the very near future, because a lot of you all are screaming, saying, "Hey, you know, start live streaming again, mate." And I'm like, I would love to. I'm just kind of really busy right now and kind of really time crunched, but I've can definitely slowly start incorporating. Now, going back to being like a full-time streamer, I don't have time for that. But who knows? You know, things in the future can definitely change. However, we're going to be talking about quite a few things today. But the only really updates, it's really not even like an update. It's more so just kind of like a thing that is, it's something that, like, I've never really gone into. And I think a lot of you will appreciate this podcast talking point about Skillers and being also stuck in 2009. Like I said, this is episode 16. If you want to see the previous episodes, the playlist for the podcast is down below. It's called The Last of Us on RuneScape, and the reason why it's called The Last of Us is because there really is a dying breed of people on this game that has came into RuneScape before November 26, 2007. And that is when the Grand Exchange got installed on RuneScape, which is now RuneScape 3. And the way that the game has really progressed is just like absolutely just, it's done multiple pivotal shifts. The best way I can really describe it is I grew up, I had, my mom did not like taking me to Blockbuster, but I forced her. I forced her to go Blockbuster. So I ended up playing Resident Evil 2. That was the first Resident Evil 2. That was the first Resident Evil game that I played. And I remember I was watching South Park on Comedy Central with my mom, because we would watch it together, because my mom would try to, like, Christopher, you got to cover your ears for this. Mom, they already said the naughty word. What are you talking about? Still cover your ears. Mom, they already said the bad word. This is not like a Friday the 13th movie where you can like cover my eyes where the boobies start coming on. Eric Cartman already dropped like multiple words that are going into my head for the rest of my life. There's no point. But I actually saw a commercial for Resident Evil 2. Oh, it was Leon and the Alligator. I'm talking about the original Resident Evil 2 game. And we went to Blockbuster. I ended up seeing Resident Evil 2, got it, played it for a while. It took me a very long time. Ended up crushing it. And then played the first one. And going from Resident Evil, playing Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I remember getting that game when it came out, and then Resident Evil Code Veronica, then jumping to Resident Evil 4, which is still to this day the best-selling, or maybe the remake of Resident Evil 2 is now the best-selling, but at the time, Resident Evil 4 revolutionized Resident Evil, pretty much saved it from going bankrupt, because it was a first-person shooter in a way. Jagex over the years has taken RuneScape from a skiller atmosphere to a very much more heavy PVM area, and also a league-driven deadmate. Yeah, I mean, is it wrong and bad? No, it's actually really good. It's a progression of a game. Did I not like Resident Evil 4? Hell no, I love Resident Evil 4. But the remake is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Even though I'm more of a fan of Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake, just because it's my heart's go-to there. More of a nostalgic type of love for it. But you can compare those with Resident Evil because the game did alter a complete shift. And since leagues are, obviously very big, it shows you how a lot of the content is really away from, like, this skiller mentality. And I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm probably stuck in... I definitely am stuck in 2009 RuneScape. But, yeah. RuneScape skillers... Oh, this is going to be very, very good to talk about. And the reason why it's good to talk about is because you got to remember what the game was really like. And if you are one of those newer generation RuneScapians, which by all means, I've said this for the last 16 podcasts, and I'll say it again. It is a good thing that RuneScape is attracting new players. There was a big influx of people that came in to the RuneScape community, especially from Twitch, when streaming blew up back in 2015 along with 16. And that's also when Jagex really started pumping money, I think, into like advertising. But RuneScape itself gained a lot. I mean, the old school RuneScape community definitely grew significantly, which is good. If the game is not growing, obviously we got a big problem here, because the game that we love to play and talk about is obviously, it's not doing good. Now it could be going through a cycle like span and stuff, or it could just be one of those things where, hey, nobody really plays this anymore. There are plenty of games out there where people just don't really play. I believe the first Resident Evil game is being remade again, like Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4, which it really should. However, you got to look at Resident Evil separate than you got to look at RuneScape, but you can compare them in the same in the same aspect of, like, okay, let's look at Resident Evil as a whole. Let's look at as RuneScape as a whole, right? Don't look at each individual thing about Resident Evil. But if you go ahead and look at Resident Evil, the original, Director's Cut, Resident Evil 2, 3, Code Veronica, And then you got Resident Evil 4 coming into the mix. Well, Resident Evil 4 is the equivalent of Evolution of Combat. Evolution of Combat really, pretty much for RuneScape 3, murdered skillers. And for me, I mean, I at first, I kind of really was like not willing to accept this in a way or really say this, but over the last like definitely significant amount of like episodes we've done, yes, absolutely stuck in 2009 RuneScape. I am by heart definitely a skiller on this game. And I'm not sure when. It might be next video of mine. But I'm actually contemplating about doing a best movies to AFK on RuneScape. But it kind of really, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, there's a lot of things that are no longer really popular on this game, such as like bank building is definitely one of them. Being orientated, skilling, because I mean, so on RuneScape 3 is definitely very unique. If you decide to be a skiller on RuneScape 3, you are a straight Dumas. There is no, like, ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're not a intelligent RuneScapian person. If I were to randomly start fletching bows for EXP on RuneScape 3, I would be a dumbass. And the reason being is because, well, one, you got protein items. Two, you got so many other different ways to level up your stats. And skilling on RuneScape 3 is just really only around like 4 times out of the year. And that is double EXP Live. Double EXP Live is every 3 months. It is 10 days of 48 hours of EXP that you are given. So in 10 days, you have 48 hours of double EXP that also stacks with like more double EXP if you have it on skills. And it's a joke. That is like the one time during the year where people will log on and skill on RuneScape 3. Otherwise, it's pointless to actually like do like skilling and stuff. It's one of those things where being a skiller on RuneScape 3 is just very non-existent. It's all about like PVMing. The new bosses on RuneScape 3 are absolutely insane. I have really no intention of like learning those things because they're just like too much like faster pace for me. It's not the type of RuneScape I want to play. Let me just go ahead and say that. And the reason why that I'm stuck in 2009 of RuneScape, and I know that I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not the only one out there because so many of you people on the first podcast that I did, which is the most viewed pod episode, stuck in 2009 RuneScape, The Last of Us, episode 1, is so many of you all reached out saying, hey, yeah, I'm in kind of like this same mentality too. So I know I'm not the only person that's kind of really not like enjoying all the high-end PVM, all the high-end PKing content, but it's the most viewed stuff on this like game. And it is the content that is being updated the most and being released. There is no doubt in my mind that someday Resident Evil probably will transition even more into like some type of a weird like online multiplayer Call of Duty mindset prestiging level. I was actually over a good friend's house this weekend drinking my bum off and also killing some Nazi zombies. And I haven't done Nazi zombies in so long, but every so often a group of us will get together, get hammered, and just chill out and just kill some Nazi zombies. And I'm just thinking about what if Resident Evil went like more into Call of Duty Nazi Zombies area, where they started doing like a prestige system, they started doing, you know, so many different things. There will be that way in the future. And I can go ahead and tell you that the OG fans of Resident Evil are like, it's so when Resident Evil 4 came out, my experience was that I was like a little pissed. Then I played Resident Evil 4 and I'm like, okay, whatever, man. It's the new Resident Evil game. I'll play it. Resident Evil 5 was terrible. Resident Evil 6 a little better. Resident Evil 7 definitely made a comeback. Resident Evil 8, oh yeah, Resident Evil 9 is going to be, whoo, can't wait for that. Then, of course, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, phenomenal. Resident Evil 4 Remake, awesome. But if Resident Evil ever went to the Call of Duty route of prestiging, you would see a lot of people like myself, like what is going on? Like, this is not Resident Evil. EOC murdered that fan base of RuneScape. It changed completely. I made this video back in August 11, 2010. Skiller's Guide. So RuneScape Dungeoneering came out, and I had a very weird mentality, but it's actually really not weird. I wanted to keep my combat level at 115, and I accidentally ended up getting it to 116. I got a stupid prayer level, and the reason being is because I wanted a skiller's persona. Because you had other big YouTubers like SparkMac, you had Chris Archie, No One's Perfect, Ice Giant, so many other people, right? Silent Core, definitely skiller, same boat as me. So Solid 2K, Max Combat. I believe even Gross Score was Max Combat too. But the point being is that I wanted to stand out. And I did, man. I did stand out significantly. I stood out as being a skiller's like persona. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I know you all enjoyed it too. And I made this because I ended up getting 99 Dungeoneering by using a skiller's guide. And being a skiller in Dungeoneering, you essentially would be in a 5-man team, and I would be the one that would get all the food, make all the potions. I would essentially just go ahead and be like the little honeybee. Group Iron Man pretty much has it too. So, yeah, I mean, back in 2010, believe it or not, the typical RuneScapian did not have 99 fletching, crafting, thieving. Fishing was really big for Dungeoneering because I could catch the highest amount of fish. Cooking, fire making, wood chop, farming, huge. I thought my herblore was a little higher, but I guess, no, we weren't making potions. Yeah, it was all about the fishing, all about the crafting, all about the thieving, the cooking, the fire making. Those were the big ones, and the wood chop, right? All the people that I would do Dungeoneering with, they were the opposite. They were max combat, max prayer, range, and magic leveled to 99, and they didn't have any of the skilling like 99s at all. Now, during this time frame also, a max cape did not exist. So, you also had no incentive to really level like other 99s. 2014, I believe, max capes came out on RuneScape 3, and the incentive to max your account obviously was there. So that definitely changed as well. And that pretty much is another reason why skillers are non-existent, because if you have a max cape, are you a skiller? No, you're not. You're kind of like a hybrid of everything if you really think about it. But back during this time frame before EOC really came into the picture, you had a clear base of skillers on this game. And skillers were very, very popular. I mean, you had pure accounts being level 3 with all 99s. And in this video, I basically pretty much showed and talked about how I would come in, drop a whole bunch of food, and my teammates would essentially just be killing, and I'd be supplying them, kind of like a helicopter in a way, right? Well, after EOC, this method pretty much just went away because combat at Dungeoneering was so easy. It was just, yeah, I mean, it's EOC is definitely one of those things that crushed skillers, or I should say completely eliminated skillers on RuneScape 3. And then as more and more bosses came out over the years on RuneScape 3, skillers are just non-existent. I am definitely not even a skiller on RuneScape 3. I mean, sure, 4 times out of the year during double EXP live, I will get some, tons of EXP and stuff, but that is like the only time you should be doing skilling on RS3. Otherwise, in RS3, it's primarily all about, like, new bosses, all about Slayer, all about raids. It's very combat-orientated, which is definitely the equivalent of Resident Evil going to a first-person shooter. And another crazy thing that I ended up doing years ago was made this video, December 18, 2010. I made this video with Chris Archie, and it was RuneScape Skiller versus PK or PvP Challenge, NightmareRH. It got a insane amount of views. We ended up having, I actually had a white party hat at this time. Oh, wow. I got to make that video talking about the World 2 people that blacklisted Nightmare. But yeah, I was rocking a white party hat at the time. But me and Chris ended up doing, because our accounts were set up completely differently. My account was set up as a skiller. And what 99s? I'm kind of really curious. Let's see. See if I can actually... Oh, yeah. Stealing Creations. I remember. This video brings back so many memories. Stealing Creations is definitely a gigantic one that skillers pretty much would constantly use. I thought I would show my stats here. Maybe. I'm just kind of curious to what... I know I definitely had 99... I definitely had 99 construction back during this time. Did I show my stats? Oh, man. Okay, I guess not. Okay, that's kind of really... Oh, maybe I did. Maybe in the beginning portion. Let's see. Red PP hat, 99 construction. Okay, so definitely, yes. 99 construction here. Oh, wait a second. This is the wrong video. What the? I ended up clicking on the wrong... I didn't even realize. Oh, man. If you are watching technical difficulties, what is this? This is not Nightmare. This is... Hang on one second. We got some technical difficulties here like you could not believe. If you are listening to this, I don't even really know what happened. Okay. Anyways, I don't think that I ended up showing my stats in this video, but the video is definitely worth a watch. And let me know if you remember actually watching this video years ago. But, okay. So, there was definitely a humongous fan base for skillers back before EOC. Obviously, like I said, Evolution of Combat completely shifted the game, just like Resident Evil 4 shifted RuneScape, right? Now, let's go ahead and talk about old school RuneScape and also comparing to, like, modern day. Because modern day RuneScape 3, skillers are absolutely just gone. They're eliminated from the game. I don't even consider myself to be a skiller on RuneScape 3. You would be an idiot if you actually still utilize, like, skilling in a way on RuneScape 3 the old-fashioned way. Everything is about microtransactions, and everything is primarily about like what do you call that? Double EXP and also like treasure hunter keys on RuneScape 3, right? But as for old school RuneScape now, and this is where it really does become a little more interesting to dive into this aspect. RuneScape 2003, not RuneScape 2003. Whoo, I need some caffeine. RuneScape 2007 launched the beginning of February 2013. Actually, let me go ahead and fact check myself really quickly. RuneScape 2007 launch. Come on. Let's see. 10 August, no. Old school RuneScape. Old school RuneScape launch. 16 February. Okay. So we got a more accurate date. 16 February 2013, right? So for about a year, old school RuneScape was called RuneScape 2007. And it really was a lot of like, I want to say 2014 updates that really shifted RuneScape 2007 into old school RuneScape. I remember I was still calling it RuneScape 2007, and then a whole bunch of people were like, it's called old school RuneScape now. And I'm like, okay, gotcha. But yeah, that's really when a lot of updates were kind of really shifting. Now, are skillers still a thing to this day? September 24, 2024 on old school RuneScape. To be perfectly honest, no. They're really not. I really want to say Slayer bosses, which I believe Slayer bosses started coming out 2016. I believe it was 2016, 2017, where you got the first Slayer boss, which I believe it was the Kraken. Let me, you know, I really do. It's kind of hard holding up the microphone and all with one hand. I gotta type with one hand over here. Hang on one second. Old school RuneScape Slayer bosses. Slayer bosses release dates. Let's see that. Slayer. Do we see it here? Let's see. 2005 Slayer came out. That's pretty remarkable. Slayer bosses. I want to see, what was the first Slayer boss? Slayer monsters. I believe it was the Kraken. Where to fight Slayer monsters. Slayer equipment. I am a lefty, so I gotta definitely modify. Boss Slayer, Slayer monsters, blah 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 blah. Araxor, demonic gorillas. Is that actually a boss? That can't be a boss. The Kraken. So the Kraken came out. Okay. Actually, I gotta zoom in over here a little bit. Look at this. I really do believe the Kraken was the first Slayer monster that came out. I could be wrong, though. 10 April 2014. So 2014, like I said, definitely had a significant amount of updates to it. A significant amount of updates that really kind of shifted the game. Then you also had Nightmare Zone that came into the mix. Then you also had a whole bunch of other things that old school RuneScape really adopted and really changed, like, their course of just the course of the game. And the updates that are out now, even with Iron Man, even with the leagues, even with Deadman, are still like there. So the newer updates to push old school RuneScape away from the skilling mentality is growing more and more by every single update that's coming out. Now, is this a bad thing? as much as I would love for RuneScape to be how it was years ago, I gotta look at the overall big picture. The overall big picture is that the game is growing, which is a good thing. And I really have love for this game, and I don't want to see this game just like be nothing. If you log on to Battle.net and try playing StarCraft or try playing Diablo 2, those games are dead. You can't even find people to play those games, which is very heartbreaking. But if you log on to RuneScape, even though it may not be the way you used to play it, there are loads of people. I mean, more people are on RuneScape today than there were years ago. So it is a good thing. Significantly a good thing. But here is a catch-22 scenario. Is, can skillers make a comeback on old school RuneScape? RS3, the answer is no. But on old school RuneScape, well, there just may be an opportunity, man. And I covered this a little bit, but I really want to dive more into this because I'm going to be making it's Lost City. Okay, here it is. I actually did. Project. There we go. Old school RuneScape community servers. Old school RuneScape community servers, baby. And we did talk about this in a podcast. I believe it was a while ago. But there are going to be private servers by Jagex that you can make on this game. And you can set custom rules that you're going to make. I can go ahead and tell you, every content creator is going to have their own private server. I'm going to have my own private server. I'm going to be doing a lot of it using my Discord server, incorporating it. My old school RuneScape clan is definitely going to be incorporated. Everyone's going to be having these private RuneScape servers. Everyone. It's going to be kind of like Minecraft in a way. But can it bring back skilling to old school RuneScape? Hell yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to make it. When you log on to my server, you are going to be in a world of pain if you are not stuck in 2009 and you are not a skiller. Well, that just means there's going to be no one on your private server, Nightmare. Wrong. Wrong. For some reason, I can feel it in my bones that a lot of people out there are dying to be able to relive the experience of playing RuneScape like it was many, many years ago. I am not one of these I'm not a type of person that lives in the past mentality, but I do reflect on the past, and I also cherish the past, and I also look at the past, and I also remember the great memories. If I had a time machine, I can tell you that the last thing that I would do is go back and play RuneScape in the year 2009, 10, and 11. That's actually the last thing. I'd actually do a lot of different things besides that. But these private servers could very well rejuvenate skilling on old school RuneScape. And maybe it'll even carry over to RuneScape 3. I'm actually very much looking forward to these community servers. And if it really is, like, it's because, unless I'm reading this completely wrong, which I don't think I am, but it clearly says right here, where are you? Here we go. It clearly says, close friends, clan, or whole community. These servers where you make the rules. You can choose who can access your creation, whether that will be a small group of friends, your clan, or whole community. So, by seeing this, that pretty much signals to me that I'm going to make a private server, and yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. If you want a skilling aspect mentality, you're going to get it, like, through me. Because I'm going to bring this skilling mindset to my private community server to the best that I can. I'm going to make you guys do the bunghole walk. I'm not sure if anyone remembers what the bunghole walk is. Basically fletching a bowl while you would walk. You would walk like it's strange individual. But yeah, this could very well bring back skilling to old school RuneScape, which would probably bring so many more people back to the game, which is a good thing. The more people that come back, the more people play RuneScape, and, you know, who really knows what's going to end up happening from there. Oh, man, I really can't wait. I honestly really can't wait until next month. I mean, I honestly can't wait until tonight. Woo! Probably going to go with the beef. Yeah, the beef. All right, let's do some beef tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up on this closing note that will skillers ever come back to a RuneScape mentality? If the community servers were not coming, I would definitely say no. The game is going to continue to move more and more, just like how Resident Evil is slowly moving more and more to like a Call of Duty shooting mentality. And it's not going to end up happening. Skillers on old school RuneScape are going to be phased out just like they were on RuneScape 3, and it's going to become a non-existent skilling atmosphere. However, now you're going to have a lot of the old atmosphere of skilling be brought back to these community servers, where you're going to have a community server basically just like, hey, we're not going to focus on high-level PVM. We're just going to focus on like chopping down a tree and just like having conversations on this game, the social aspect, right? I can't tell you how many conversations I've had on this game years ago with people just by chopping a tree. I don't really think that's like, I mean, it's I don't know, that mentality these days are just like gone. The social aspect is gone. The social aspect is only if you're on like Discord, like at a raid or like a PVM event. There's your social aspect. But the social aspect of like sitting in a bank skilling, it's not there anymore. But who knows? We could very well see a surge of skillers once again. Otherwise, I just want to say happy Taco Tuesday. I will see you all Thursday with a new pod. I love you all for watching. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, stay tuned for more and more content. Later.